Jules here from Joolsedesigns at JT Creations. So this is my first video back in cold Scotland. Actually, it's not too bad. It's Easter Sunday. The sun's bright, the sky's pale blue. It's like a cool day in Cyprus, like a winter day in Cyprus. So we've been to church for the Easter Sunday service and it was beautiful. The kids did like a nativity. And there was also a dedication, a new baby that was just born. So it was beautiful. Anyway, we're here to do a ladder pocket. So this is it. This is the one that I did. And this is in my bee journal. And yeah, you can go and buy the dies. But you'll only get one size. And Tim Holtz does dies. You can get the dies off Temu. I've got a couple. But I like to make my own as well because sometimes it's just a little bit too small. And I stick mine down right the way around. You can leave it so you can put a taller tag in there. You don't have to have your tag, you know, as tall as the full thing. But this is, so we've got that one. We've got a couple of little tags here, and I've not decorated that one yet. It's just been inked round. And that's just some papers from the How Boho Can You Go from Rachel and Bella Crafts when I did the collaboration last year. So it looks cool. I like it. And I made a couple of mistakes, and that's why it's got little bits of book page on. That one I've cut out. This one's a bit narrower, so this one will be a narrow pocket, but these I'm going to do for my spring and my daisy journal. I might still put some bees on, but as you can see, that one I stamped. I didn't decorate it with any digitals, I just stamped it. So what I did was, first of all, I cut a piece of card. Now it should have been 6 inches. It's actually an 1/8 under 6 inches, but it should have been 6 inches. And it's 2/8 wider than 3 inches. But what I did was my first line was 2 inches up. You can see, because I've drawn it, 2 inches. And then from that, I did 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches, and 1.5 inches. And that's how I did it. But what I did use was I used my Perspex ruler, because I've got lines here that I can get you know, my measurements from. So this is what I'm going to do. So this is, I'm taking this in, right, so that's 1/4 inch. A quarter, yeah, so I'm resting the edge of the card on this line, and I'm drawing a line. And oh, and that's not very straight. It could be the card that's not very straight. And I'm doing the same here. Okay, so that's the first one. So I want to go 2 inches up, and I'm not going to put 4 slots in. You can have as many slots as you want. This one I'm just going to put 3 slots in. So what I'm going to do, I am going to take it up to 2 inches, but I'm measuring, I'm putting the 3 there so that I can put it on the 1 inch. Then I'm taking it up. In fact, I'm going to measure that, so that's 4 inches. So I'm going to have my first slot there. I'm going to have my first, second and third. So I'm going to go 1 3/4 inches. I'm going to take it to the 2 so that I can do my little 1 3/4 inch mark there. Again to the 2 and my 1 3/4 inch there. So I'm just taking it up another 1/4 inch. The only reason I'm doing that is because my ruler's a bit chipped. And again, I'm going to measure this one. So this is the 2 inch. And then I want 1 3/4, which is there, and 1 1/2, 1 3/4, which is there. So what I'm doing now is I'm just going to join these lines. And to make sure I've got it square, I'm putting one of the edges of the lines of the ruler on the edge of the card, and that just helps me keep my line straight, and also these lines. Now I want quite a bit of, so what I'm doing now is that line I'm going to match up with this first 1/4 inch and draw another line. So that's my slot, and the same with that. You can have your slots as deep as you want or as thin as you want. It's easier to make them a little bit wider because it's easier to cut with a craft knife. There we are. So I've gone 1/4 inch in each side. I've gone 2 inches up that way, 1/4 inch that way. From there to there is 1 3/4 inches. That's 1/4 inch. 1 3/4 inches and 1/4 inch, and these are 1/4 inch. And I mean, if it just depends on, I mean, you could have one right across your page, and I'm thinking of doing that. So what I've got is the slots are actually 2.5 inches width, so so my tags or my ephemera can't be wider than 2.5 inches. So now what we do is we get a little cutting mat, and I haven't, this is about the best I can do actually. And get my craft knife, and what I do is the metal side, you can use a metal ruler, but I've got a metal edge on this, so this is the way I do. And because I've got my line across there, I know where to start, and just very gently. Now this is card, so it's about 200 GSM, and that's it, cut right the way through. And then I go back up to that, and that line that I've just cut along will match up with the 1/4 inch there, so I can keep my 1/4 inch perfect. And again, you've got your line to start and your line to finish. If you go a little bit over it, honestly, it doesn't matter. You can rectify it. It is so easy. You can just put little bits of book page over. You can put washi tape. And that's it right the way through. So there you can see. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut all my slots first. On it and just and then I'm just pulling it up to that line there. And I can see my lines there. And I might need to go in with a pair of scissors and just give it a wee snip. And I can see there I've not gone right up to the line. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in. This is when little small tiny scissors come in handy. To push that down. Take that up to the line. Okay. And then you can either go over with a craft knife or you can do it like that. It's just whatever you're confident with. I mean, you could even, you know, take a ball tool and do these. So there you are. So there, you can see it's not perfect, but it's good enough. And I'm just going to take that. And you can always take an emery board. A little bit of one here. Just to get any rough bits off. And there we have. So I've got the one with the 4. And I've got the one with the 3. Now what I want to do is I want to put a thumb notch. And I'm using a 2-inch punch, and all I do is, I can't, give me 2 seconds. Where it fit in that one, it won't fit in that one, so I'm using I think this is a 1-inch punch. So hopefully it'll work with card, and all I'm doing is I'm just oh, and this isn't the greatest, right? Okay, I think I need to throw that punch out and just forget about it and go and get another one. I've tried sharpening it with tin foil and aluminium and everything else. It's just, it's not working. And I've had it for literally years, so I'm not that bothered. So that's that one. And this is, see if we can get that one in there. Nope. But what you can use, you can use a little roller tape, your washi tape, There we are. So there we are with our thumb notches. And what I am going to do is I'm going to ink around the edges, and I think I'll go with tea dye, and this is the Distress ink one I'm using. And now what I want to do is I want to do some stamping, and I want to put some book page on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this old German book page, and I'm actually going to do some gluing. So I'm just randomly and I'm putting it near the, you know, the edges that I've made a mistake on. I'm just ripping that up. And I'll just stick that on there. Just stick that on there. Stick that on there. And we'll just let that dry, and then we'll do, and you can do it with glue stick as well, so we'll do a bit with glue stick. So we'll just put it in 3 spots. And that one there. And what you need to do is you need to let that, now you can see where it's off the edges, but you need to let that glue dry, because it does need to grab the boob pages, but all the edges are loose, and that's fine. That's what I was, because what we're going to do is when it dries you just rip it off and it leaves little bits of boob page. So what I will do is I will come back when these are dry, so I'll see you in a bit. Aye, that's me back. So a bit off there and a bit off there. This is the glue stick, and that probably has dried a little bit better than the art glitter glue. And if it's not faded enough, or the edges are a bit rough, that's all I do. So we'll pull this end off. And this was the one that had the chip in it, so that's fine. So it's covered that chip quite nice, the chip, the wee mistake I made when I was. And these bits you can keep them and do this again, you know, if you feel you've not got enough on it, just go over it again, and that's all you do. And I'm just, and I didn't want too much on, I just wanted a bit. So we'll put them little bits over there. So now we've got that, and I'm just going to go over, this has got the tea dye, so that's pulled a little bit more off. Sweeping up bits like that. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to take my oxides out, And I'm going to do the tea dye first because it's a nice peachy colour. I don't want to overdo it. So that's that one. Now I'm going to do the antique linen. So there we are. So now what I did do was I got some stamps out. Do it like that. I think I will. Now my daisy journal, my pages, like lots of lemons and blues and colours like that. So I'm looking at, I've got withered wood here. Start with this one. And I've got bundled sage as well. So I'm just... yeah, quite like that. And have a bit of that there. Okay. And I've got this one. It's like a, looks like a trellis. It's not. It's like the chicken wire. And I'm going to do this in bundled sage. Okay, so we'll leave that there for now. I'm going to do this trellis in iced spruce because that's a bluey green. This is going to be from our spring journal. And I'm going to go over it in bundled sage. I'll do that one, easy ones. So we'll do this on this. And I think what I might do is I'll try the milled lavender. But I am going to put this on a, because it has got lilacs in. I just want to see what it looks like. A bit too pale. So we'll try this might be too much. So we'll just do a little bit. Maybe, and really I should wipe that off. Okay. Right, so we'll leave that there. This looks like a herby plant, but I'll get this smaller one. That one. Tattered Rose, Saltwater Toffee, and Victoria Velvet. So I think I may do this one. And it's a bit of a grungy type. That's enough Victoria Velvet. We'll have some of this at this side. That's a bit too pale, so we'll not. Saltwater Taffy. But what I am going to do is I'm going to go for one of these. So this is Spring Meadow, and this is the Harmony Spectrum Noir. I'm going to put them away, and I'm going to go for a leafy one. I think it's an ivy. That's better. That's more of a spring. And get some secondary stamping. We'll have some grids. I think that's enough of that. So what about spiced marmalade? And that's a distress ink, so I'm just going to try a little bit. Yep, and I'm going to put some of this on. Because I like the blue and the orange. Yep, and again I'm going to go for the tea dye, and I'm going to go around the edges. And I've got some tags here. Got some small ones, so I'm just using that angle. It's angle and photo. And we'll decorate some tags. And again, I'm going to do, I've got some of this Scotch timber, and it's like a greeny brown. It's don't give up, the beginning is always hardest. Quite like that. And we'll put that one on there. I know you're supposed to bring your ink to your stamp, but there we are. And I'm just going to grab a couple of these. Just grab this bottom one. I've used it before, so I quite like it. I can't remember what it says. Life offers you a second chance, it's called Tomorrow. Quite like that. And we'll put that one at the top. Oh, not bad. And I've got some French stamps here. Oh, that's how you're supposed to do it, and then you don't get it all over. And we'll do I've just thrown my ink dauber on the floor. Sorry about the noise. So that's do print temps or pre-and temps. Not got a clue what it says. If you take a photograph of it, put your photograph in Google. When you go to your Google page, it's got like the, you know, the microphone so you can speak into it. It's got the camera. Hit the camera and it'll search for your photographs, pick the one that you want, and there's a list. You can either search, translate, or homework, I think. Yeah, it does all that for you, and it'll translate it. Now I'm going to put some bumblebees on these because I've got some bumblebee stamps. Quite like bumblebee stamps. And I think I'll use walnut stain. I don't want it too dark, I just want it so you can see it. I don't want it black. Oh, put that one on there. See? I've got a there we are. And there's that little fat bumblebee. And I've got some daisies. And I'm just going for secondary bits in the background. And I think on this one we'll go for vintage photo. That's more and I'm just going to go around the edges. And the secondary one I'm putting near the writing, the text. So that you can see. And I'm angling the stamp a little bit. That flower there, you can just see it in the background. And I'm just lightly, because this bee's flying up to the flowers. And there we are. So you can do all sorts of pictures with stamps. You don't have to. You can draw. You know, if you're good at sketching, you love painting, watercolors, things like that. By all means, go for it. I've got a little buzzy bee here, and we're going to put him there. And I'm going to use black soot on this one. Black soot isn't as black as like using the onyx of an mementos and that. So I'm just putting it at a jaunty angle. We've got one part of one. There we are. And we'll just have some secondary bits to look as though there's bees flying all over. And I'll just do that off. Stamp it off a little bit. Right, so now we've got them done, I have my spring journal. Now I'm going to put one in the spring journal. I've not put the daisy journal together yet, so but what I want to do is I want to put it in the journal, because when I make this ephemera I get asked a lot, you know, how do you fix it into the journal? So I'm looking for a page where it will suit. It's pretty. It's pretty, and it, you know, you can even put it online. And this my spring journal is more of a lined page. I think we'll have it on there. Yeah, I think we'll have it on there, and I'm not going to put it in the middle. I'm going to put it off to the side, so I can use that for journaling on if I wanted. If I wanted to, I could have put it there or there and still journaled down there. In fact, no, I like it on there. So what I do is, and then I just place it in the corner like that. And then we can put our little cards in. So we've got our bumblebee there. In fact, what we'll do is we'll put that one there, because that's, we'll put that one there. Or should we put that one there and put that one there? Yes. And if you wanted to, you could put like a little word stamp, or, you know, whatever you wanted. So I hope you get something out of this. Remember, the video can be stopped, paused, rewound, so if you miss something, just pause it, go back and have a look. I try and cover everything as easy as, you know, to make it as easy as possible. And if you have any questions, just leave a comment below. Bye, speak to you soon.